are live, broadcasting live. This is the Conversation Room 101. Make sure it's only adults in the house. I need your mind to be open, prepared, and relaxed. Welcome to our home. Take your shoes off. We got some rules we need to go over. Be kind. No cursing in the chat. If you want to curse, call in. And no shouting out other channels. That's a no-no. We got one other rule. There is no judging our guests. It will not be permitted. Zero tolerance. And if so, you want to do that, guess what? We got security. And we will escort you out. Because over here, hashtag we don't care. We're going to be one big family. We're going to laugh together sometimes. We're going to cry. But we definitely going to pray. I thank the Lord above for everything. I lift him up and give him the glory. But you guys, right now, we're going to get our popcorn. And then we're going to see what's going on. And let me just park my car. And I'll be in there in a minute. I'll see you real soon.
The Copyright Disclaimer Act. The Copyright Disclaimer Act under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Hold your power.
Decided to go into pre-law, then journalism, and with no academic focus, my grades took off in their own direction. You will fail at some point in your life, accept it. You will lose. I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. You will embarrass yourself, you will suck at something. There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living. I didn't quit. I prayed. I prayed. So you will catch a break, and I did catch a break.
Thank you, Tracy. Tracy said, you're muted. You're muted. I'm sorry, you guys. I was making a video prior to this. I am so sorry. What I've said, let me go back over it again because I'm all over the place right now. If you knew this morning, I was all over the place. Yesterday, I was all over the place. And yeah, that's just the way it is. You say one little thing to me, I'll just start bawling and crying. And you can say, I didn't bring home the bacon, honey. Ooh, you know, like I was saying yesterday, you guys, I know everybody was like really happy or whatever. This was not a happy moment for me. You know, I like to stay in hope until the last minute. I don't mind about the last minute situation. It is what it is. But once you get that verification that this is it, you know, you can, like I said, right now, you can come right on over and say, hey, SP, I didn't bring home the bacon and I'm going to be in my feelings. And I'm sorry about that. I'm human, you guys. And so I'm not going to talk that much today. I'm just not. I hope you guys can kick in and talk because I'm not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it. I mean, I'm not even trying to even accept what I'm hearing. So I'm going to share a little bit of insight of what's going on. We're going to listen to the clip of the press conference, and plus I'm going to let you guys get on the panel today and express what you hear, what you see, what you think, and all this other stuff. But like I said, maybe to everybody else, this is a good thing. It is good that somebody is in jail, 2 people. Trezell West and Jacqueline West is now in jail. When we came on live yesterday, they had not even been arrested yet, but now they are arrested. They tried to take off running, you guys. And, you know, I think that they had their little Winnebago thing kind of bugged because they were seen earlier somewhere else. That's what they said in the press conference. And they was headed on the highway trying to get the heck out of Dodge. But thankfully, you know, they knew how they were going to probably react to this. I'm going to share with you something that, let me see which, and, do you guys want to hear the press conference first, or do you want to hear what I have to say? Because what I got to say is like 5 minutes. It ain't even 5 minutes, you guys. I'm going to be honest with you. If you want to know more information, let me just go to it real quick. I'm going to go to it real quick. If you read the indictment that they put out, and if you can't find the indictment, go to Facebook and go to that Brian Wayne. The indictment is there. Read the indictment, and it'll give you a whole bunch of what's going on. I mean, I mean, I had some of this information yesterday, so I'm just not really, anyway. Apparently in the indictment, let me try to find it real quick. I don't know if I can even find it because I'm all over the place. I'm not, some people may, let's talk about it. I'm just not feeling this right now. So let me find, it might be over here. Like I said, there's something about, if you go to Brian Wayne and look up this indictment right here, it's on Facebook. If you look that up, it's going to say a certain part in there. You need to read it because it actually says that it's hard to read, but if you can blow it up and read it, you got to blow it up to read it, that the charges of having a minor help so people, I don't know what it's telling you, but the other children, which is their children, and I'm just trying to wrap this through my head. The kids was involved some kind of way. It's very, not only Orrin and Orson, the kids were involved some kind of way, either in the situation. Now, what was going through my head yesterday that I just could not, I mean, what was going through my head is like, okay, he's from the military. I mean, somewhat of the military. He's got all these kids. He want nothing but boys. I can see him making like some kind of team thing, like this is Team West and this is Team Orrin and Orson or whatever, and making these kids fight. I don't know, you guys. I can't even imagine what's done happened. Or helping them after they took these children out, had the other children help to cover this up. Okay. But it does says on that indictment something about the minors' help. Okay. I don't know. Maybe it could have been their statement in how they answered the questions or whatever. But I don't even know why they only got 2 on murder and 2 on what was the charges. Anyway, let's hear it real quick. I'm not going to show it because I don't want to fool with YouTube right now. But we can hear it. It's only but about 5-minute clip. If you guys missed it, just listen to it. And then I'm going to let everybody come up on the panel, okay? Because I want everybody to get the same information so we don't have to answer the same question over and over and over. So, Attorney General Zimmer, here she is.
My name is Cynthia Zimmer. I am Kern County's District Attorney. I have information about Orrin and Orson West, the two young boys who were reported missing from California City 14 months ago. On December 21st of 2020, Orrin was 4 years old and Orson was 3 years old. Their adoptive parents in California City, Trezell West and Jacqueline West, reported to the California City Police Department that the boys had disappeared from their backyard. The California City Police Department began a search for the boys in the area around their home. After a period of time, the FBI joined in the search, as did the California Highway Patrol and search and rescue from the Kern County Sheriff's Department. The community also came out to assist in looking for the boys, but to no avail. They were not located. 1 week later, crucial information came to light that necessitated the involvement of the Bakersfield Police Department and the Kern County District Attorney's Office. Law enforcement worked diligently, hundreds of hours in the next 12 months, looking for the boys. This morning, I'm saddened to announce that the investigation has revealed that Orrin and Orson West are deceased. The investigation has also revealed that they died 3 months before their adoptive parents reported them missing. However, I am pleased to announce that this week, the Kern County Grand Jury indicted Trezell and Jacqueline West, the adoptive parents, for the murder of Orrin and Orson West. The indictment charges 5 counts. The first count is murder. Charges them both with murder, with the victim being Orrin West. The second count charges murder, with the victim being Orson West. The third count charges felony child abuse against the person of Orrin West. The fourth count charges child abuse against the person of Orson West. And the fifth count charges false report of an emergency. Naturally, the first 2 counts carry the most time. It is charged as murder in the second degree. That carries 15 years to life, but with 2 victims, the potential penalty, or the maximum possible penalty, if convicted, is 30 years to life for each defendant, Trezell and Jacqueline West. Now, the grand jury indictment is a formal charging document, and we followed a process in charging them before the grand jury, and that was the district attorney requested that the grand jury convene to hear evidence regarding an indictment that we presented them. The district attorney's office then presented information to the grand jury, and the grand jury found there was sufficient evidence to hold Trezell and Jacqueline West responsible for these murders, and they returned what was called a true bill. So oftentimes we call it they were indicted, but what they did is returned a true bill on the indictment. Superior Court judge issued warrants for the arrest of the defendants, and they were arrested last night at about 7 p.m. in Kern County. They are currently in the Kern County Jail waiting for an arraignment on the indictment, which will be tomorrow. There will be no preliminary hearing in this case because an indictment is a substitute for a preliminary hearing. In this case, will proceed directly to trial. The announcement of an indictment in this case probably raises a lot of questions about the facts of the case and what you and the public would like to know. I'm not permitted to go over the facts of the case in this case, but there is something that I'd like to discuss because the facts of the case are to be what we produce in the jury trial, because we want both the prosecution and the defense to have a fair trial in this case. However, one of the questions that I'm sure you would like to know is, have the bodies of Lauren and Orson been found? And the answer to that is no. They have not been found. However, I would like to emphasize that the fact that law enforcement have not found their bodies does not preclude a murder prosecution. As a matter of fact, there have been many hundreds of what we call no-body homicides prosecuted across the United States successfully, and even no-body homicides have resulted in murder convictions in Kern County.
That's all I'm going to play for you. The rest, they were asking questions. All the questions that they asked you guys, they didn't answer not a one. They were good questions, but they did not answer not a one. But you heard her say, and that was something else, because back in September, there was, let me share with you guys what it was here. And that was something too that we were waiting to see. Castolo, if you go to KGET, Castolo had put out a report that, and that's the lawyers. Castolo is Castolo, the lawyer, says that there is allegations is based on that there have found some reports of human remains have been found in near where the boys was reported missing in California City. But they recently found the human remains. It looks like they were found early November. Castolo said that so the children's father, Mr. Pettis, went in to allow a DNA to be collected to see if there was a potential DNA match. But Castolo said he didn't know any specifics details about the reported discovery. Bakerfield police declined to comment on the possible discovery of the remains and said it is routine to ask family of missing persons to have that DNA. So I was kind of happy when she said that they still haven't found a body. So because that was my next thing I was thinking was when the biological father, Mr. Pettis, went down and did a DNA, maybe they had recovered those remains, and it was definitely that's what gave them the go ahead to do the warrant and arrest them. But she confirmed that they do not still have a body. I'm going to put this in here. This is for you guys to come on, share what you need to share. If you got a statement, you got 5 minutes on your statement. You can't take the whole time, but please come up. Like I said, I'm still SP. I was watching, okay. And the guy that read the indictment, and in the indictment, it says that there was witnesses threatening in children's statements. Yes, that's what it says. You got to, this is why I tell everybody, go read the indictment so you can get an understanding what that indictment is saying. Okay. She said, I'm so pleased that they're locked up. They are going to cave and tell what they did. See, right now, the question is Did the children tell them? Because remember, they put the children in protective custody day one. They put the children in protective custody and would not give them back to the family. So, okay, we've got two people on the panel. You guys go ahead. We got Cheryl and we got Phyllis. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead, Cheryl. My battery's running low. Plug it up here. But anyway, hello, SP.
Hello.
I am really saddened. I had to call a friend today. When I first heard the news, I was just in tears. I knew that the boys weren't here any longer, but still, when you hear it, when it gets confirmed, it does something to you, especially kids, and especially for these two evil, consumed people to lie for that long. It's just so wrong on so many levels. And if they find out that the rest of that family knew something, they ought to go to jail too. Somebody else besides those two, I do believe, had to know those boys weren't here. I feel so bad for that father. Like he said, if his mother gone, all he has is those boys. And the mom, they didn't want to really hear what she had to say because, they put us down because if you have some kind of offense on your record, and she was trying to tell them that that was an accident anyway with the child when that happened, so, and even protective services. This should blow the lid off on so many different things. We have got to do better. Our system, when it comes to kids, has so many flaws in it. And I know they're shorthanded. They've been shorthanded for years. That is no longer acceptable. That is no longer an excuse. These children did not deserve to be killed by somebody who's evil. Probably because they didn't do something he told them to do. It's probably why they're not here. And I'm not saying I'm still caught between whether he intentionally did it or maybe it was an accident. But they should have reported it as soon as it happened. And I don't know, somebody had in the chat, they heard that they were working on getting a passport. Well, as much money as that family had, I think they could have already done that unless they had heard that, they were getting closer to finding out the evidence on them. I salute the police department for hanging in there. I salute you and all the other ones who've been working on that case. But I tell you, it's just like it was a knife through me today. I had to call a friend just to get it up off of me, but I couldn't. I had 2 appointments today, and I couldn't even go to them in peace. I went to them, I come out, and I'm still very bothered by this. How is that mother feeling right now and that dad to have it confirmed? To have it confirmed, it just took me back to my grandchild. And I just said, God, thank you. At least she has scars for the rest of her life, but she's alive. But these little boys, they're not here anymore. And we got to do, but I've got to go.
Okay, Cheryl.
I apologize if I look off to the side. I was just trying to collect my thoughts, and sometimes I just have to type it out. I had heard saw something last night that they got pulled over, and I was like, okay, this is good. Perhaps how sometimes somebody does something minor and then they get taken in or questioned and it leads to some further information. I kind of had thought that maybe that's the avenue, the direction it was going down. I didn't realize all of this was going to come out. So this is not really in any order. I was just kind of typing. I think that they need to check in and on or about the other children and the history. I do think that there is most likely a history of abuse from one or both of the parents. Well, let's say that loosely. The adults that were in charge, well, allegedly in charge of them, especially the two, I believe it was one or two boys in the past that had stayed with them and then no longer was staying with them. They were like returned or whatever. I think that perhaps I don't know, maybe they have been talked to and that's how more of this information came to be. If that is not how this information came to, finally came to the light, and praise be that it did, I do think that they need to be checked in on, and more of their history with these, I don't even want to call them people, these characters needs to be looked into. I kind of was also torn. I wrote, I am also torn on the tension or accident, but then someone also wrote in the chat that like 2 human being lives lost is like not an accident. I don't know if it was, I know they had spoken about one of the boys being more protective over the other one, so I don't know if it was something with that. I don't know. I think that it's definitely been covered up for too long, and that can be taken, multiple ways, like with other family members or just the two of them themselves. Like, how do you live with yourself? Like Christmas, no less, and like you go out and go in front of people and newscasters and people who were biologically related to these tiny human beings who are innocent and deserve nothing of this, I think is absolutely ridiculous. Who knows? Did guilt get to them? Something's going to get to them. If it doesn't happen here on Earth, it will happen someplace else. I am hoping, and I think that someone will flip. I don't know. I think his mother is shady, as all get out. I just think about how when even before my mom got sick and I lost my mom, and I know I've shared this before, so I'm quite open about it. Like my grandmom, my father's mother, would have never allowed something harmful to happen to my sister or I. And when you adopt a child, that becomes your family. That's your family. I don't care about your blood type. I don't care about your XY chromosome and who got the, I don't care about that. That is your family. My grandmom did everything she could for us, and she's no longer with us, but I can't even imagine. So being a parent, which I am not, I can put myself in that shoes, but a grandparent, like I know many ladies here in the chat are grandmothers, like, so maybe that's a perspective that someone could, explain their side. And I hope that justice is served, and I hope that it's done right. So every tiny, small infraction that they can pin upon these two, like, is able to stick, because they deserve everything that's coming to them and more. And I do really hope that the focus turns, now that they are in custody, that they are turning to finding them. And for once, and I don't want to speak ill of biological mother or other biological family members, because we don't know how they cared for them in all that situations, but that's not what we need to know. That they finally get some sort of peace, because I don't feel as if they've had peace in their small, short little lives for a very long time. It has not been since they had been with the Wests.
Right.
I'm angry. I just, how do you go? And like you say, nothing. Like that makes me feel like, but because they got away for so long, I wonder, like, maybe did they not? Maybe did other family members not know? But how? How? Your son, your daughter-in-law, whatever, you're all over the news. They're all over the news. People are posted up outside y'all's house. You don't think to be like, so, son, daughter, family, like, what's the deal? What happened? Like, I don't get it. So either they did know and like it's a whole mess of a problematic family, and it has been for generations and generations before these two were in custody, I guess, of these little children, that they were able to get away. Like, I say that loosely, but like keep it, like keep it in for so long, or they didn't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's shameful. I think it's heinous. I think it's heartbreaking. I think they've been failed. There are people like in my own family that like are struggle with their journey to have a child. I think adoption is beautiful. I think foster care is beautiful, but it is not for everybody. If your intentions are not good, you have no business taking a responsibility like that on in your life. And if you do that for the wrong reasons, well, I would like to say things to them that I probably shouldn't say on the internet. Knowing that I have students who have been adopted, or students who come from bad, biological homes, or foster care situations and have been moved around and this and this and that. I don't know. In a way, this is going to sound wrong, but I don't know. Like, I don't want to say that there's a silver lining, because there's not. There's two little lives that would have become something. I'm satisfied in knowing that the other children that were in their quote unquote care, nothing can happen. Nothing as a result of the two of them can happen to them. If that makes any sense. I don't know.
Thank you, Cheryl. Betty?
Good evening, everyone. It tore my heart apart. Didn't sleep. Pressure went up. We always felt like maybe, just maybe, this was going to be something different. That they were with their biological family and it was just a tug of war. Having been adopted, I thank God that was never my lot. My family was great to me. I was an only child, so I was spoiled. But I can't imagine having been a baby when I got to them and being treated like trash. I don't say this often, but I know I'm going to be praying hard that God will deal with them two soulless people. And if the grandmother were listening, it's no way in California, and I'm making up words, that my child, that boy is sick. That man is sick, and you knew it, and you allowed him not to take on his own kids, but two more kids, and then two more kids. You just sat back and did nothing. And you're a grandmother. And I know for every grandmother on this line and great grandmother, our hearts, you can't even talk because you can't imagine your son, after all this time, you came out on the news. We looked, we did. when I look back at the first video, he covered his hands because that little boy fought him. He fought. I don't even want to imagine what he did to his little body, because he was a fighter. That's why he said he was whatever.
Rambunctious.
And you've been a woman. You're a mother. You allowed him to do this to these kids. Whether you fought you, who on this planet? Why are we talking about 2 dead babies? They never. Why? Why we keep talking about babies? You took them from it, and here's the thing: the system took them from their mother and gave them to the enemy. And now she got to, we talked about her too. Now she got to deal with the fact that they didn't say the baby. Listen here, I'm listening to this 3. We all said the same thing. They didn't go missing when he reported. Here to repeat. Here to repeat. Hit Cody again. Here to repeat. They believe the babies were missing 3 months back. So if we count back, that was right after the party in September. Count back.
Oh, there was a photograph of them, I feel like a group?
No, it wasn't
shot?
a photograph. I think the last time it was somebody had a birthday party and one child went and the other one, something about the kids was sick or something.
Okay.
And one of the families, if I'm wrong, SP, correct me, but if I'm not mistaken. So when we said this, wait a minute, you went outside and you got kids. Now we looking at Cody case, same difference. Mm-hmm. We get a timeline after we don't put him with, so we let the time go by. But the police, I think, as jumbled up as it appeared, I'm glad they were like drunk on a horn. They didn't let go. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad they went to the grand jury, because the grand jury, they will present to them, this is what we have. We know. They tried to get, and look at them. They had a Winnebago. You think his mother didn't know? They had them. They could go live off the grid in that Winnebago.
Mm-hmm. And especially with his military background and all his training and survival and tactical, I don't know.
I've lived some rough lives. I don't think I could have you could probably do a lot to me, but I would die trying to hurt somebody hurting a child. I just would.
How about the
I don't
fact
have any words.
The mom wanted to bring gifts, and it was like, just try to avoid. And the whole like,
what you do, you deflect. You talk about what she was and
what
you
always put the blame game on somebody else
and her family. This but if you notice, when they kept saying, no, it's not us, it's y'all. It is, you know what I'm saying? And the mother, no, my son wouldn't. It's y'all. Now what? I'm like some Miss Phyllis. I want everybody to be locked up, because everybody got something to do with this. Everybody, even the brother.
The one that lived at the parents' home.
Even the accessory, whatever you call it. Everybody should get some kind of charge on this. You knew your brother was sick, and you allowed him to go on for a whole year.
Well, how about the mom?
That's what I say. Everybody, like, grandma, mom, whoever.
And again, I'm not speaking from a firsthand account, but as difficult as it is, or would be if I had my own child, I feel like maybe a parent could sense their child is different. Some things, maybe he was.
You overlook it, Cheryl. You overlook
I know.
it. You went into the military.
I know, and all of his experiences that affected him.
And guess what? You
How
deal
do you
with
let
kids
him
every
even
day.
have his own child?
You deal with kids every day.
More. Yeah.
Don't you deal with kids every day? So some kids
do.
are good at masking their shortcomings. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
like, what's the word I'm looking for? And oh my God, like some kids are visual learners. Some
Yes.
some kids mimic what they see. So if they know they're not good at certain things, they mimic it from somebody else that everybody is praising. If I can use, so SP is
Yeah.
very good at speaking. So guess what? I study SP. So when people talk
That's
to
right.
me, if nobody pays attention, I'm mimicking SP. I'm just using you, SP, as an example. So some people are able to hide their disabilities or their shortcomings, is what I'm trying to say. And have for years.
Yeah, but that, how do you live with
Yeah.
yourself how do you live with yourself for knowing your
I don't even
own
want to
flesh
deep
and
dive
blood?
into what his sickness probably was, because he surrounded himself with a lot of little boys. I'm gonna stop right there.
Mhm.
Who were you speaking on?
Trezell. I said he surrounded himself with a lot of little boys. I'm gonna stop
Right, they
right there.
didn't have any female children.
Well, that's
I don't
probably a good
think.
thing too. We have Zan.
Yeah.
Zan, are you there? Go ahead.
So, of course, I missed your announcement on last night. And it wasn't until I was looking at my phone this morning that I seen your announcement, went straight to it. And I've got to say that emotionally I was overwhelmed. Because you just want to hold out the hope of hopes that, possibly someone had them and they were safe. I can honestly say that I believe the state was aware, or the police department was aware that they had been deceased for over 3 months when they transferred that case to Bakersfield.
Exactly.
I feel like
They knew?
Yes. That's why they ended up turning the case back over to Bakersfield.
I agree.
Oh.
I agree, Zane.
I agree with you too. That's why when we're looking at this other case,
Yep.
and we want to attack the police, and they can't say this, but you look at their actions and what they're doing, like on the California City boys, they hurried up and put the kids in protective custody. Nobody got the kids. Grandma didn't get the kids. Nobody gets the kids. No, you're not getting these kids. They did the same thing on the Cody case. Now look on the Cash Gunner case. Mom came down, picked up Carter. No problem. See what I'm saying?
Deja vu. Deja vu. I had to come back up because Cheryl, you asked a question about being a grandmother. And I can tell you this, when they first interviewed that grandmother, and well, the granddad too, and they showed that one picture of one of the boys at the table, well, both of them were at that table, when they had given them some treats, you know they weren't telling the truth. They were not telling the truth. Me personally, as a grandmother, I have stepped in between my daughter, one of my daughters, well, both of them really, and their children and their boyfriends. They were angry, and you want to discipline? No. And I stepped in front of one of them. I said, you will not hit this boy now. You are too angry. You'll do damage to him. You go somewhere until you can cool off. And I told my daughter, why you got him up here? He done punched a hole in your wall already. That tells you he's got a hot red temper. And if I hadn't come up here, you would have let him go at your side? Ain't no way in hell. And excuse me, Lord, I don't usually cuss. But no, you cannot as a grandparent. And my other daughter, I knew something was going on in that house. She stopped letting us come see her kids. I got me a butcher knife, and I wasn't going to use it. I used it because I knew the back door was covered in plastic. I took that knife and I cut that stuff off. got my hand inside that door so I could gain entrance. I went up them steps, and I knew he was in there. She come out there just dressed horribly. The kids, I peeked over into the baby crib. It was awful. And I stood there in that room with that knife at my hand. I said, you come out. Come out here. I know you're in here. And he finally come out like he all big and bad. I said, you know what? If I had the intent to kill you when I came here, you'd be dead right now. But as of today, those kids are going home with me. So no, a grandmother who really loves their grandchildren. I love them like they're still my babies, even though they're my daughter's children, but they my babies too. You don't just stand by. I don't care if they're wrong. I don't care. You take those blinders off your eyes. You protect the children. They didn't ask to be here, and they don't deserve to be mistreated under no kind of way, shape, or form. Nowhere. And that's why I still say. And then they put up all that money. You put up that kind of money because you know y'all covering up everything, and nobody else is gonna find the proof unless they tell it. So you have to really just allow the Lord to get into your spirit and point some things out to you.
Right.
And I know all y'all do that. And we have to keep doing it, just like Betty said in this case now with little Cody.
Right.
So much is wrong there too. But I give it to the police department because I do believe they're trying to.
Right.
Really
there was one thing that they said on the briefing. I had cut it off, but they were telling certain police officers, thank you, they did a good job. And I was so happy to hear that they told the people, the public, that they did an outstanding job. They were vigilant, whatever. They were the people pushed. I mean, there's going to be fighting amongst everybody because we all different and we different states. We think differently and act differently. But overall, to push this to get justice, that's what you have to do.
And you come together, become united.
Yeah,
for a common cause, for the children. For the children. Look at all those people that are down there in Hampton that are still looking for those kids. Even though they said they had covered a lot of ground, covered the water, but they're still out there looking. It takes the whole community.
Right. But I
it
think
takes people like you, SP, that won't give up. That won't give up. Getting the awareness out there. Talking among ourselves. It all helps.
I think all the people did good on this case. I know that you're going to have resistance. You're going to have difference. I get that. I understand that. You're going to have doubt about what somebody said or did, or could they did better, and you're mad and you're angry. But to be honest with you, keeping the conversation, keeping hope, prayer, making those phone calls when you don't want to make those phone calls, calling, keeping everybody aware, tagging, putting it on Facebook, sharing it. It all pays off because I think and I'm saying about social media, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, if people wouldn't have talked about it, whether we're in agreement or not, I think they would have just kind of was like, well, we don't have anything. Let's move on to the next something. And then it just get washed away. There's a reason why they moved from Bakersfield to California City. You only got 12 officers. They got too much other stuff to deal with instead of homicide.
Well, the other thing with that move, SP, was because when they sent them dogs in there, and they said they sent every kind of dog that there was.
Right.
And you don't come up with something, that's a big red flag. Oh, yeah. Hallelujah. It's a red flag. Go back. Go back.
Yeah.
Go back. And that's what they're going to have to do in Cody's case.
Yeah.
Go back some more.
I remember Chief John said that he said those kids
weren't in the house.
Never was in the house.
Never.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, never was in the house. I mean, he basically said it if people listen. He said
Yep.
they never was there.
I think they need to go back to the grandma West, Trazelle's mother, because wasn't there an alleged fire or something in her yard that kind of
Mm-hmm.
looked a little shifty? Did her house, do we know, or does anyone know if it was ever like formally and thoroughly searched?
And remember, I don't know, but remember they talked about they were supposedly somebody associated with them had a daycare in the house, not
Oh,
far from them. Remember that they had a daycare
something
on the
like that.
corner or something. But I was going to say they should go back to their apartment complex where they used to live at.
Right.
Maybe they did, and we just didn't know.
Well, then, as I was listening, they can't tell a lot because the
Right.
case is they still have to go to trial. And I believe the same thing we're going to find the same thing. Like you said, Miss Phyllis, I am a grandmother and I'm a great grandmother. And I try not to say everything because I've been just like you. I've had to kick in a few doors at a few times too. But I don't want people to think I'm a gangster because I'm not. But when it comes to your kids and your grandkids, Cheryl, you tear down heaven and earth for them because you don't want nothing. You want your lineage to go on, but you want them to go on healthy. And so, when we look at these cases, and when I hear these things, it tears at my heart because I don't know. I don't know how to. I don't know how to, stop before I say something wrong. That I wish I could be in California right now. They wouldn't have had to lock them up. That's not good to say. Because I can imagine, all this time we've been saying, tell the truth. Things happen. If you had an episode, we know you used to be in the military. I'm just saying. And they just got on your nerve that day and you snapped. But to tell people, I went out to take the trash out and the dog got out and the da-da-da, that was just, you really made up a whole story. Then we got now it's making me look at this new case, Cody case, totally different now. Because it's copycats. I'm sorry, SP. I just.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. Van, you got anything else to say?
SP that really questioned was the timing of them charging the parents had anything to do with the lawsuit that the father had brought against Kern County and the police department up there and CPS. And we're just wondering if any of that played a part in the information and go ahead and press these charges.
Right. I don't know. I don't know if that's something that helped it, I would think that if they was trying to get out of something, they wouldn't have brought it forward though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, if somebody was suing me for stealing something, then I'm not gonna go tell them here's evidence that yeah, I stole something. I would be like, I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, nobody's arrested, so how could you say that we done something wrong? You know what I mean? I wouldn't bring it forward.
I was just thinking that maybe as to not destroy evidence or as to not release evidence that was going to have to be released in this lawsuit without tipping their hand, without showing their hand, that they kind of were put into like a rock and a hard place that we got to go ahead and serve them with these warrants, because when they find out, when everything starts to come out, that's going to give them ample time to flee. Because I heard you say at the beginning of today that maybe that was last Tuesday. No, that was yesterday. They actually got the warrants on yesterday and served them immediately.
Right. They got the warrants yesterday, but the indictment, when they did the indictment 3 months ago. And it took 3 months for the indictment to pass the true bill. You see what I'm saying? That's and then when the true indictment passed, when they passed the bill, that's when they did the warrant for the arrest yesterday. As we were talking, the warrant was out there. They hadn't even found Trezell. And first, we only heard it was just Trezell. We didn't even hear it was Jacqueline. We just first heard it was Trezell. That's how new it was. It was like it was happening as we were speaking, as I was walking out the door to go to work. And you know, and I was a hot mess at work. But you know,
where were they going anyway? Where were they going?
They probably was running in the
Probably
desert.
go live in the woods somewhere. They had an RV. They could go to any, what you call them, RV camping sites and stuff. They could just keep driving. They didn't have to be, you know, anywhere. They were just going to go, I think.
Because, you know, it was weird, but a gentleman at a gas station said he heard Trezell talking on the phone. They were gassing up their RV, and he recognized him. He recognized the RV, and he went outside and he took a picture of the back of the RV and the license plate and put it on Facebook. And within an hour and a half after he put that on Facebook, they showed a picture of that same RV on the side of the road, getting ready to get towed, and it was the same license plate.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like, you know, the community might have heard, like we did, that they're getting ready to put warrants out for them, but they hadn't actually served them yet.
Yeah, the warrant was out there. It just hadn't been served.
Yeah, so they might have been trying to get Ghost.
Yeah.
Where'd they get this money for the RV?
Okay.
You know,
Did Wanda give it to them? Is that her name, Wanda?
No, but you know, I heard, and this is just something I heard. I heard that they have a family member, and I'm not talking about the brother. I'm talking about a more older family member on Wanda's side. I'm giving you guys a little insight, but
Drop that nugget, SP.
on Wanda's side of the family, that's been financially helping the West family.
Bam, there's the nugget.
Specifically Trezell and Jacqueline, or specifically just the two of them?
Just the two of them, Jacqueline and
See, okay, so
Trezell.
So then my whole thought about perhaps they didn't know, I think I'm wrong. I don't know. Because who would just blindly, oh, hey, my wife and I want to get this RV and get gone and da-da-da-da-da. I'm not giving you money without asking you why.
Right.
There's
something else. Remember, you guys, I don't know if you heard this when they were talking on the report, the press conference. They said they had numerous people that came out and verified and witnessed, and it was very sad. A lot, and you got to think, okay, there was more than just one person that spoke on this.
What did they
You're right,
witness, SP?
SP.
Well, for some reason, and I don't know, but for some reason, I can just see
Mhm.
him making those kids
Mm.
fight each other.
Yes.
Like
And
their
so,
dogs
Like
yeah,
like that, Cheryl.
or chicken, like the chickens.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The I don't
So,
want to say that word, but the fighting.
Mm-hmm.
right. So when I'm saying, they can't
But they
charge
got some
them
family
whatever.
business, like some family underground business.
No,
Is that a thing?
I don't know. He wanted them boys for a reason. Like, what was you breeding them like animals? Like, okay, we're gonna take. You know what I'm saying? I'm
What's it?
just,
The
I
secret
don't
about
know.
Fight Club is you don't tell anybody about Fight Club.
You know, I'm gonna say this because I do know this for a fact. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen family members make other family members fight. They don't fight to the death, but I've seen it, and it happens a lot.
Like fist
And
fight?
we know this.
Mm-hmm.
We know this happens. We Our siblings fight amongst each other, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe one sibling got out of hand. I don't know. I'm just. I mean, it's hard to try to understand. Not you take out one child, but you take out two. Now, how are you going to tell me that that's an accident? Because an accident only happens one time. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't happen the second
Right.
time because you know better. So how is two kids, two big 3-year-old, 4-year-old, they walking and talking and eating and smacking and stuff? How can two of them, unless you disciplining both of them at the same time, like lock them up in the freezer or something, and gonna teach them a lesson and come out, both of them's gone or whatever, something of that nature. But if there's two different times, I mean, if you do something to one and then you see that child didn't make it, why would you go and continue and do another one? But you didn't do yours. You did these two. So that tells me you target these two kids, because wouldn't there be abuse on the other children?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
You know what I think, SPU? I think I would like to kind of piggyback on what you're saying. I believe that as you're saying that, I'm sitting here thinking in my mind too. What if they were picking on the baby? And as we know, we heard that he was a little slightly disabled. Um, and the older one was, defending him. And he was strong. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he was stronger than his youth, because a lot of little kids coming up now are very strong. And he was, every time they picked with his brother, maybe the kids did, he got the best of the other kid, but I can't really see that because the other kids were a little older than him. But it's something mentally, I'm not even gonna put it on the kids, it's something about the father that keeps hanging in my head. I don't want to use those words, but these kids, like you said earlier, Cheryl, they're going to need a lot of help. They're going to need a lot of help, because even if they were caused to, if they were, like as you said, SP, if they were made to participate and something happened, maybe he pushed them and he hit his head. I'm just saying, and he's
They
like,
participated some kind of way, either
yeah,
in
because that's what that thing said.
yeah, either
You know what that
in
reminded me of, though? You know that case I think you briefly touched upon at SP about there was the siblings and the parents like up and left, or the
and
mom,
left the
the
kids.
boyfriend. Yeah, and there was a deceased person. Like,
Yeah,
did
one of the
they
kids
like
died in Houston.
right? Did they have like how old was the oldest child that they had?
I think that oldest one was 15.
Okay, so you can guilt very easily a 15-year-old into helping you do something. Like, did
Yeah.
they help them cover it up? Did they have them lie? Did they? But when you said they were involved, that makes me feel like they physically did something. Like, not necessarily, I don't think to the boys, but like helped the adults move something, get something, like they manipulated something. I don't want to think they harmed.
I don't want to think that either. Is
Me
they
neither.
assisted some kind of way. They had the children assist them some kind of way. It says that in the indictment that there was a minor to help them assist.
Like a cleanup person or
It
like,
could be. That's what I'm saying.
yeah,
It could be cleanup. It could be in, you know,
moving.
movie. It could be, they fought and or
See,
have
I'm
discipline.
gonna, I don't know, like you saying that thing about the fighting, I believe you. I have not heard of anything like that, but that doesn't mean that it does not exist.
Oh,
Is
it
this,
exists.
is this like, has there been speculation that this type of activity went on in this family, or you going off of like a hunch and knowing like different life experiences and things?
I'm
Because like
just giving different
options. Okay.
options of just thinking, just things that I know that happens in certain communities, especially when
Okay.
you have a thing, you just want boys. You just want the boys. Do you want the boys for gratification, some kind of sex gratification, or do you want them to build a team or something, or do you want them? And I'm being honest with you. I'm not. I'm just saying that usually, and I'm not going to talk about the one the other
That's
the latter because I just don't even want to go there. But when you do have a lot of boys, because I've got a lot of brothers, and yeah, they would fight. They would make them fight against each other.
Honest, I
They
feel like
will.
that's more screwed up and twisted than had
It
they
is.
just snapped
It is
and
too
went
much.
too far and hurt them. That's messed up. That
It
is
could,
sick. That's
or
sadistic.
maybe the Orin got the best of him, and then he was like, "Get off of my boy," and maybe the baby helped him. Orson helped him, and they was like, "Oh, y'all," you know what I'm saying? I can just see things going north. Oh, you want to protect these, but when you know what I'm saying, I'm just going. My mind is just thinking when they said a minor assist. How would a minor assist?
SP. I'm gonna jump down. Okay.
All
Nice
right,
seeing you, Cheryl.
all right. Thanks, Betty.
I don't know. Uh, I'm learning and taking everything in that you say about that this type of thing exists. That's just not what my gut is telling me.
See, Vanna's right here. She said, I understand what she is saying. My mother would throw me under the bus with quickness when it came to her grandbabies. And you know, I if you Zan, do you have something else?
No, I'm good, SP.
All righty.
Thank you very much for letting me share.
All right, thank you.
All right.
I just know when I come from a big family, and big families know big families. My aunt had a
Yes.
big family, and big family knows big family. I mean, we got boxing gloves for Christmas. We got that.
Hmm.
I mean, you know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? And you would think it's a friendly thing, but kids may take it at a different level. Now, we didn't think it of like dogs or animals or things like that, but you can have, you're trying to raise your kids and, to be military or strong or whatever, or not weak, you this, you that, and they don't play with the other kids, so they're gonna fight with each other. Oh, you guys up there, I told you to shut up. You want to fight with each other, and you want to come in. Okay, here you go, get in there and you fight.
Mm-hmm.
Parents would do that, and I'm not saying nothing. And we all know there's some parents that do that, and one kid may take it another way or whatever, or he, like I said, he may got the best, and then dad got mad at both of them, trying to protect one, protect the other one. I'm gonna teach you both a lesson. I lock you up in the room for a whole week or whatever. Y'all don't even open up the door, leave them in there or whatever.
Right, like that's another thing someone mentioned in the chat earlier. Like, were they starved to death?
I don't think they were starved to death. Mm-mm.
So do you not think it was an accident or some type of other scenario gone too far, such as a fighting little
Yeah.
thing? You think it wasn't on purpose?
Hmm. I mean, I don't think anybody would go, oh, I'm going to kill you, or that's what I set out to do. I think that a discipline that went way overboard, or he went off because of his children
Mhm.
and he took it out on them boys,
Mhm. Mhm.
you know? And I'm not gonna um leave Jacqueline out.
That's what I was just gonna say. What if, like, everything has been about him, and we know something's not right, him walking down the street in his little outfit from the Matrix and his, accessory.
Yeah.
Um, like, do we think she has been manipulated and brainwashed, and
No.
so you think she
She
has,
voluntarily got up there and told those bald
oh,
faces.
yeah.
She
You
voluntarily.
think she was
She said,
threatened by, Trezell, though? Like, he had this,
no,
like, grip
no,
on her
no,
and
no,
abusive to her?
no, no.
No, you okay? Because I know
No.
been that idea had
She
been passed around.
voluntarily uh uh protecting her and protecting her kids and protecting him. No,
And
he needs to go to
didn't she
jail.
also make a comment like, "Oh, this is why we didn't wanna do this," or "This is
Yeah.
why we
She
didn't
said,
wanna
"This
come
is why
out here"?
we didn't want to come out." She was
Right,
telling the
right.
family, y'all, that's why we didn't want to come out here, because of y'all. Girl, oh,
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? Mm-mm,
Yeah,
no,
yeah, yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, no.
I can't believe, though, that it really I believe it, but, like, it really went all the way back to a previous residence that they had, and,
Right. And those
like,
kids, like I said, those kids,
no one
um,
seen them. They
we
I
had
don't know.
somebody call in and they gave us that party that they were going to.
Mhm.
Those babies were invited because it was that age of a party. But
Okay.
those two kids is the ones that didn't show up. And they asked.
Where are the boys?
Yeah,
Why did they not come?
yeah. That's the last time. Brown sugar, you in there?
Yes, hey, SB. Um, you was talking about the party, about it could have been a reason why the kids didn't show up for the party because the kids, was already gone. So, that could be the reason why they was not there at the party.
Exactly.
So my reason for calling in, though, people need to stop making excuses for Jacqueline, whatever her name is. They need to stop it, for real. There's no excuse. She's just as responsible as Trezell. No excuse. I don't care what she went through. There was no excuse. She was grown enough to get up there, make a statement. She was she was on TV. She was standing up, she was by his side. There's no excuse. None.
She had all the opportunity, time in the world to get away from him. Wasn't nobody holding her down. She could have ran right there when we was on TV. And she could have said, I just want to just let everybody know the truth. And they would have protected her. You know what I'm saying? Or she could have told them on the side. She did not. She did not. She chose not to. She chose not to.
She just as responsible as he is. And that's why
Oh, yeah.
she's so much same charges.
Who do you think was filling out all that paperwork to get all that money for the kids and stuff?
She was.
Yeah, it was her idea to even adopt the freaking kids. She was
No.
doing foster care. It was her idea to adopt those kids.
That's shame. I had it in my heart. I thought those boys were still alive until you broke the news yesterday. I have not been right since then. This is hard. This is heartbreaking. It's very, very heartbreaking. It is. Very heartbreaking. But that's what I had. I don't know to call and say. People need to stop making excuses for their woman.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you.
They don't. If they have a problem with me saying that, I mean, they see me. They see me. I'm down in the chat. You know, I'm not trying to create no problem in the fact, but people, you know, not everybody make excuses. You just, you know, you see a couple people. Well, I
don't think you know, I think sometimes we do make excuses, especially for women, because we are women, and we do make bad decisions because of love and our children and everything. But I don't know, but sometimes, you know, even if you're making bad decisions and it causing the life of other people's children, you still need to pay for it, even if that was so. You know what I'm saying? Because if you got kids and then you're out there adopting kids to get money, and you driving around in these big old 2000 whatever vans and buying houses and stuff, you are part of the problem. Nobody made you go do all of that, signing things and marrying people, and you got kids, and then you're adopting kids and taking them back and adopting more kids, and then just getting rid of the kids. I don't know how the kids got done, but I'm just saying, you're part of the problem. You're part of the problem. Whether it was love, whether you didn't touch the kids, you allowed it to happen because you didn't put your own kids in a situation like that. Why would you put somebody else's kids? Do you not know? I mean, I love my kids. I love my grandkids. But if your child came over to my house, I will be watching your child like a hawk. More than I watch my own. Because you're trusting me with your child. So therefore, I don't want, you know, my daughter, yeah, I told everybody this. And some people try to throw it up in my face. They didn't even know what they was talking about. Yeah, my daughter, my youngest honor roll student, but she was starting to get out of hand, skipping school, doing things that she's not doing, and I gotta work. Now, do I put my whole family at risk? I mean, she was doing some really bad stuff. Or send her to her dad. See what I'm saying? I still gotta put her where she can get some help. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Not leave nobody out, but we just can't keep doing it. If I know that I can't control what you're doing and you're going to get yourself hurt, this is not my biological child. I got to make sure you're, regardless what the state tell me, this child can't go here, this child can't go there. I have to put that child where I know that child's going to be okay, not get pregnant, you know, not start getting on drugs or whatever. I don't care what the state say. You see what I'm saying? So people was like, you did it for this, you did it for that. You don't know why I did it. I did it for that child.
Exactly.
Whether they understand what I did or not. But that child is underneath my watch. And we didn't need to have a baby at the age of 14. We just didn't. And we don't have one. Imagine that. And graduated and going to college. Imagine that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, I sent my own son away when things got out of hand, and I just had to get him to safety and make it happen, make it work, you know. But a woman, I just believe that, and this is not written in stone or anything, but I just believe that we're supposed to be there to protect our babies.
That's right.
You know?
When it comes to, you know, we as women, you know, we are more soft-hearted, you know, when it comes to our children. What I mean by that, you know, we're more caring and loving, and we keep our children close. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
We love them more. I'm not, you know, putting the boxes down. Don't take me wrong. Don't get me wrong on that. But there's a difference with there's a difference between the mother and the father.
Right.
A great big difference.
But let me say this, because I know we're running out of time.
Mm-hmm.
But isn't Wanda doing that for Trezell? Isn't she protecting him like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
But we get mad for her protecting him, though. But she's protecting him. But I mean, some people do protect the children, right or wrong. I know I'm not going to sit here and lie to nobody and say if my child did something wrong, I'm just going to go turn them in. And I'm probably not. I'm just being honest.
Mhm.
I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give my kids some help or, and
Mhm.
we're going to work it out. But I just wouldn't. And so I get that and I understand it. And I'm not going to say I'm not going to be mad at her, but I mean, I get that why she want to believe her child had nothing to do with these kids' demise. But this is
Well,
just not good.
if you remember back with the interview they had with her and her husband was sitting up there with her. I don't recall him saying anything, but she was doing all the talking. But what gave her away, if you're not giving, you're doing, if you were doing the interview and you're not giving the people eye contact, telling you not, she wasn't giving no direct eye contact, this is the way, it was that, and plus the way she had her eyes standing to the side, it was, I knew.
Right. She kind of was like crying on there, like somebody was doing something to her. I didn't keep a lot of the videos. I'm going to play this last video. And it was when John Walker was speaking on it. You have anything?
It amazed me, he just resigned. And right after he resigned, this happened.
Well, remember now, yes, he resigned, but the indictment was back 3 months ago. Okay, so I think a lot of people don't understand about the indictment. Okay, they went to the grand jury on the indictment. They did a true bill. I had just looked it up. So true bill indictment. Says, what is a true bill of indictment? A true bill of indictment is the same as a true bill. It's handed down from a grand jury. That means multiple people, like maybe 9 to 12 people, stating there was enough probable cause against the defendants for the crime that he or she may have committed and disclose them in writing. So does a true bill means guilty? No, it doesn't mean guilty. What does let me see. What happens after true bill indictment? If the indictment is returned as a true bill, you will then be notified by law enforcement and served with the indictment in open court. And if you do not appear, the judge will issue a bench warrant. So they went out and arrested these people, right? Okay, so what does a true bill means in court? In writing decision of a grand jury signed by the grand jury for a person that it has heard significant evidence from the prosecution to believe that an accused person probably committed a crime and should be indicted, and thus as the indictment is sent to the court. So, and I'll give you guys another little nugget, but don't say you heard it from me. I hear that there's another indictment on the table for one of our other cases. I'm not going to say which one it is, but that's all I got to say. So indictments can go for 2 or 3 days. It can go for months. So they must have had a lot of information and evidence to go over because the indictment started, they said, 3 months ago.
Okay.
Why they just now coming up with the grand jury agreeing that they got enough evidence? Unless,
That is a good question. Maybe they have, they have them now, and they have, they have been charged with these, with these crimes, and hopefully, now, hopefully they will just start to admit, and say, what these babies are, so they can go, so the family lay them to rest. And also, true that the biological father's family, they filed a lawsuit against, I think it's against Department of Children's Services, I think.
now, right. I just want to say this. The grand jury is not a trial, you guys. It's just people can come with evidence, and because people don't want to go spend a whole bunch of money trying to show that we don't have a body here. So, but we got, you know, maybe reasonable cause, probable cause, things like that. Those are not direct evidence, you know, like I'm saying. But when you take it to a grand jury listens to all the information that you have. Maybe you didn't give it all to them, because, you know, there's going to be an element of surprise. But you give it to the grand jury and they say, okay, you know what? Yeah, this weighs a lot. So indictments are really important. They are really important. It tells you that they do have evidence. And that's what bothers me. They have enough evidence that 13 people said, yeah, it's more than likely, you know, we can't just let them walk.
Did they pull some things from Wonder House? Remember when they searched our house? Didn't they bring some items out of our house as well?
Yeah, they brought some stuff out of there, but it could have been just I don't know, it could have been the toys or whatever, you know. Who knows what it was. They're not, and one thing about this case, they're not letting no information out. When they ask all the questions to the lady Zimmerer, that's her name, Zimmerer. She really didn't answer no more questions. She said she couldn't, and they were asking those questions, and they just didn't do none.
I guess, you know, one thing, you know, this is an open investigation, and also too, you know, this is a case of, you know, juveniles, you know, so therefore, you know, that's what I'm taking for, because, you know, I didn't be in juveniles. They can't, you know, release too much information out there anyway. Because this is a case pertaining children, involving children.
Right. Okay. All righty. I'm finna get off of here.
All right. Well, thank you. That's what I wanted to comment. You know.
Well, I appreciate you.
I'm so messed up.
I know. That's why I'm finna get on off of here and chill. I gotta go to work tonight.
Okay, then. All right. Well, I will talk to you later. Thank you.
Thank you. I know you guys. I know you guys are sick of your stomach. I know. I want everybody to understand how that if you don't know when they went to a grand jury, grand meaning there's multiple people to come up. That means many. That's why it comes grand jury, and they listens to the evidence, and then they write on the paper. They don't write guilty or not guilty. They just saying, hey, you know, this needs to be heard by the public, and it was significant enough of number of citizens signing that legal document saying that it's returned a true bill. So I believe that this indictment, and when they do go to court, they go to court tomorrow, you guys. They go to court tomorrow morning. So make sure you guys look out for the update for that. I'm going to get on off of here. I'm going to go ahead and listen to this back when they were talking, and see what this, I think this is human trafficking right here, but this is let me see.
So are you starting to think that this case is part of something larger, something like human trafficking, or I know a lot of people ask me about that.
I can't rule that out. I can't rule anything out. Of course it's possible. Anything, until we know different, everything is still in play. So, you know, we need specific facts to prove otherwise.
There is one thing, I don't think anyone asked about this, but when I first met the biological mother of the two boys, she had mentioned how one of them had a broken femur. This was a couple of years ago. I know I saw it on the Attorney General's website as well, that Oren had a broken femur, the biggest bone in the body in his leg. Did the adoptive parents in that interview, did the bone heal at that point? Does he still?
Yeah, it had been years prior. I think even prior to them adopting the kids. So that was, to the best of my knowledge, that was ruled as an accident. That there was no, I'm sure there was an investigation done by Children's Services, and they found no misconduct.
Okay.
Hello, this is Mayor Karen Go of the city of Bakersfield, California. Like all of you, the disappearance of Orrin and Orson West has deeply saddened me. My heart and prayers go out to the family and communities affected by this tragedy. I, along with their family and our community, want to see their safe return. Our law enforcement officers also want to bring these innocent children home. The Bakersfield Police Department, California City Police Department, FBI, and Kern County District Attorney's Office are tirelessly searching and investigating the circumstances regarding the disappearance of Orrin and Orson. I have faith and trust in these agencies and know that we all care about the safe return of Orrin and Orson. Please understand that no resource is being spared during these efforts. I'm in regular communication with the Bakersfield Chief of Police, and I'm confident that this is a priority of our local law enforcement. The children's disappearance has touched many people and has brought an outpouring of concern. I can understand that the public wants more information about the investigation. However, in the best interest of the boys and to protect the integrity of the investigation, law enforcement is not able to share every detail with the public. I know that the Bakersfield Police Department and other agencies are tenaciously working on behalf of Orrin and Orson. I assure the public that the case has not gone cold. It is being pursued very aggressively. Thank you to the many caring individuals who have rallied around the families of Orrin and Orson, donating time, money, and resources to bring the boys home. Thank you also to organizations across the nation for continuing to shed light on this case. I have been closely following the news and events in this investigation. I urge anyone who has had contact with Orrin and Orson West to contact Kern's secret witness at 661-322-4040. Let's all continue to work together to bring Orrin and Orson home.
Tanika Shanetta, the plus-size doll. Do you like to shop online but hesitate because of the uncertainty about sizing and the quality of some items? Have you came across an outfit that you love to rock, but girl, you want to know more about the company and how their items run first? I get it. Check out Tanika Shanetta, the plus-size doll on YouTube for the latest updates in plus-size fashion and styles. She does the reviews that you can use. Timing is of the essence, but she will reach out to any company if she's not already signed with them. And get that item or a similar item to try it on first and provide that honest review on sizing, quality, and shipping. She does it all, and often can get a discount code exclusively for her subscribers. So subscribe now and shop with confidence, knowing if you would size up, size down, or true to size. She also reviews wigs, bundles, hair products. Like I said, she does it all. Measurements are in the description as well as the contact information for business inquiries or collabs. So subscribe today to be a part of the dollhouse where everything is big, bold, and beautiful. The link is in the description box down below.